kind of been permeating through this camp over the past few days, and maybe how is it a little bit different from the past few years when you come in?
It's been fun. It's been good so far. Just good to be back. I mean, obviously having Dan at the helm this year, having his first spring training, that's been different. It's been good. And just seeing how he wants to do things and putting his own spin on things and just all the pitchers getting back together. It's been fun.
He kind of came in through a whirlwind at the end of last year and had the offseason to self-reflect, get to know more people within the organization. Just how much more comfortable have you seen him in his role here?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a lot. Obviously, it's a tough task at the middle of or towards the end of the season, but I think he's settling in good. Everybody loves Dan and knows Dan, but I think just getting to know him on a personal level, some of the people that maybe didn't work with him in the past, just getting to know him, his leadership style, what he's expecting out of us. I think that's a big part of spring training.
What is his leadership style? And you said it's putting his own spin on things. In what ways might that be different?
Yeah, so a big thing he hit on last year and already touched a little this year is just the going to battle aspect, almost the, I guess, warlike mentality of 162, because it's a long year and there's so many games, but at the same time, past 3-4 seasons, you see it comes down to 1 or 2 games, and I think that's the big mentality here is every single night is a battle, and we want to earn every single win, because at the end of the year, it comes down to 1 or 2 a lot of times.
Looking back on your season last year, leading the league in innings pitched and strikeouts and all-star, when did you afford yourself to look back and say, you know what, that was a heck of a year, and what do you account for having such a great season last year?
Yeah, that's a good question. In season, you can't really do that too much. It's tough, and all the guys, I mean, everybody, Bryce, Wu, really came together, the whole staff. But I think right afterwards, after the A's start, kind of going home, and I journal a lot of stuff at the end of the year, just about reflection, what I learned, what I want to get better at, all that kind of stuff. So it's nice letting your guard down for a couple of days there and just kind of reflecting on it, and then all of a sudden it's right back to work.
What do you want to get better at?
It's always consistency. That's kind of a boring answer, but at this level, at the highest level, it's the greatest in the game do it every single time they go out there. And I felt good about my year individually, the whole staff, but a lot of times in a season you have 33 starts, you might have 2 or 3 you wish you could get back. And you look at guys like Scooble and Sale and those guys, they pretty much do it every single time they went out. So I think that's the little bit of the separator there.
Logan, did you add a pitch? I mean, like last year you said you didn't add a pitch, but you sort of added a pitch.
Everybody waiting on it.
Yeah, that kind of, I mean, like.
No, I worked on the splinker a little bit, which we talked about last year. I got a ton of reps with it, and then 2 weeks ago I banged it. So I will not be throwing that. I tried it a lot of the off season. I went back to the 2-seam a little bit. That we'll see if it makes it out of camp. Cal's never been a big supporter on that one. And then I just tweaked my cutter grip a little bit, but besides the slight cutter and 2-seam, nothing. Oh, actually, never mind. Just the other day, Bryce's downer curveball, like Big Mike from last year, the really hard downer. I was just kind of playing around with it a few times in the off season. Then I threw one out here, and when I got here, the first pin, and Woody and Trent actually really liked it. So we'll see. I might throw that.
So how does it work if Woody and Trent like it, but Cal doesn't like it? And Cal seems to be prone not to liking most things.
A lot of times. It comes down to the first pitch. Me and Bryce would joke in the off season when we would talk to each other that we're working on pitch. He was working on his cutter and everything. It all comes down to the very first pitch you throw, because if it gets hit, Cal's never calling it again.
You got a name for it? Or is it Big Mike too?
Yeah, maybe a tribute to Big Mike. Who knows? Something like that. But it's going to be tricky because I have a curveball and then it's another curveball. So I don't know. We'll figure it out.
But that, like Bryce talked about it, the way you throw that curveball in the depth, hitters don't like it because it's kind of the hard action down.
Yeah, I think it takes away the hump. That's the idea of it, to have a downer. And so my curveball now got a little sweepier and plays better to righties, so it might be something I use to lefties, like on the outer half of the plate. It might be kind of a handedness thing. But, yeah, think of Glass now, how it just comes out, guys swinging a pitch 50 feet that is in the dirt, and you wonder why, but it came out exactly like a fastball. Where kind of old-school curveballs have the big hump and then land in the zone. This is more of a straight out and bottoms out. But I don't know. I've thrown it like a few times, so we'll see if I use it.
Jerry came out at the last day, the second last day of the season, he said it was Plan Z to trade any of you guys, or he wanted to keep the staff together. Then you get to the winter meetings and guys start signing for, $25-30 million, and all of a sudden, like, the Mariners actually start listening to offers on Luis. How much did you track that? Because and you're, like the way it is, are you always concerned that I might get a call and I'm the one going?
Yeah, I mean that's part of the business a little bit, that you have to just understand that it's going to come. My first couple years, it was kind of a little more like a hesitation, and that nothing to say. I don't want to be here or anything like that. I love being here. I hope I never leave, but it's just like, stuff like that eventually happens. I saw Castillo's name in the headlines, and you always wonder how much truth there actually is to it. So I'm not sure if it was blown up or what, but it was a little bit scary at first, just because who Luis is and what he means to us and how he's helped me and all that kind of stuff. I didn't expect to trade or for any of the starters to get traded, but like you're saying, it's people are expensive out there, very expensive to sign free agents, especially hitters coming to Seattle. So at some point, you never know if that's the way to get a big bat here, is to trade an arm. Who knows?
Who takes it harder, like when there's trade rumors, or even your name gets thrown out, you or your family?
That's a good question. Probably, I don't know, maybe the family, or I mean the logistics that go into it are probably scary too, of like, you got to restart your life, where do you live, all that kind of stuff. It's tough for me because of the relationships here, that if I ever leave, that's going to be really hard, because it's all I've ever known is Cal behind the plate and Woody pregame, and the other starters on the staff, and Kirby and Bryce and all that kind of stuff. So the relationships is the part that you really get tied up in, and that would be hard to one day leave.
How excited are you that the starting rotation is all back?
It's huge. It's huge. Yeah, I really hoped it would be that way, and you never really know going into an off season. For some reason, every off season it feels like something could happen, and then you show up in spring and it's the same. And I don't ever want to take it for granted, because every year it happens means it's 1 year less. That guys aren't going to stay together for 20 years or 15, whatever. But I'm just enjoying where we're at right now and how good they are too. Every year these guys come back. It's like, it's just fun to be around them and watch. So I'm really excited about it.
Did it feel like if you guys just got in last year, you guys could do some damage based on the rotation that you guys have built, seemingly prepared for October and those shortened type of series?
Yeah, I think that's always the idea, and what we have in the back of our head. That, I mean, you look at the Royals, have really good starting staff last year, and then made a little bit of a run there, got in, beat the Orioles. So I think we can go toe-to-toe with anybody on the mound and as a team, but it's just like, especially in the playoff format now, if you get in with the expanded playoffs and going three-game series or whatever it is, and then 5-game and 7-game, like, I think we have better pitchers than most teams, and I think we have a deeper rotation too, and bullpen. So if you make it in, I really think we're one of the teams that people don't really want to face in the playoffs.
It's 2 years in a row where it's 1 or 2 games short, first team on the outside looking in. Did last year sting more, or did the previous year sting more, just because of how much of a lead you guys had in the division? And, the year before it was like down to the wire, it was the 2 division rivals at the very end. Or was it both? I mean, just which one kind of stung a little bit?
That's a good question. Initially, I was thinking last year, but it's tough too with the Rangers winning it all, and we were right there. Could have gotten in before them, but it might be recency bias. But last year definitely probably hurt more, and it's tricky because it's a ton of motivation that I've thought about, and I'm sure everybody that we're gonna use this year. But also, I don't want to just like constantly look backwards and harp on everything. So I think it's good to channel it in a good direction. But having the lead, it was, I mean, we all know that was killer, and it really hurt because we should have been in there. That should have been us, and it was nobody's fault but our own that we dropped the ball on that one. So having a lead like that, and the players that we have on this team, it definitely, I would say it stung more last year.
You had a lot of communication with the front office last season, kind of throughout the winter. I mean, was that kind of on a similar level this winter, just keeping in touch with, where the roster was at and how things were developing, or were you kind of off doing your own thing at that point?
A little bit. I talked to Dan a little bit. We didn't get to link up because I was out of town and when he was coming into Florida. But he tried to meet with some guys. I know he met with Bryce. Woody went to the DR and saw the Rocks. So talked to Dan a little bit. Justin called me once. Actually, I thought I was getting traded when I saw his name pop up every time. And they know too because right away it's, hey, how you doing? You're not getting traded. Don't worry about it. So. I talked to him a little bit, just with some of the Sasaki stuff going on, but nothing crazy. And actually, in Seattle, before I left, we were talking about kind of the Plan Z thing, and that nobody's supposed to get traded. That's not what we want to do, and kind of a last resort mentality there.
Logan, do you have any new toys that you got into your bag? New water ball? You get the big stick like Steens has, or anything like that?
Which one?
Like he has the one balance stick or whatever he holds up.
Oh yeah. He's got the backpack thing too.
The backpack water thing.
They have that at the place I train. I just don't use it. But I'm trying to take away a little bit. My bag is only so big, so I can't keep putting stuff in there. So who knows? You might see me with a little less stuff in there.
Cal gets rewarded with the platinum glove. Just you get to see him every day. What is so special about him as a catcher and what he does with you guys?
It's awesome. It's the work he puts into it. Everybody sees the 40 bombs and caught stealing and that kind of stuff, but the off season, talking to him, what he's going through, the stuff he does in spring training, just the dirty work, the little things, the basic things that you have to do every single day to be really good at what you do. That's who he is, and he has that kind of old school mentality, which I really appreciate from a catcher. So it's awesome to see him getting rewarded at the national stage for what he's actually putting into it.
Logan, as far as you know, are you the only guy on this roster that has that sort of alter ego?
Good question. I mean, Curb definitely uses it, but he's kind of like that all the time to an extent. Bryce is the same. Louis is the same. Woo, there might be a little bit there. You might need to ask him about that one.
Yeah, Kirby's.
Is there excitement? I mean, you've been around with a lot of the guys are here about just tomorrow, though, kind of that first day of school mentality. Everybody's going to be here tomorrow. Just
Yeah.
thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's really fun seeing everybody. Everybody, goes to work, gets stronger, comes back, ready for a new year. I think everybody has the World Series in mind, so it's just fun that first day that we all get back, and it's like, all right, here we go. Start of a very long year, but hopefully a successful one.
Expectations for Dan's first speech before?
For Dan's speech?
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't know what to expect. I hope he comes in yelling and just fires us up, get us ready to go.
Logan, is Cal skinnier?
I thought he was. I asked him about it, or I said he was, and he was kind of not giving me much. He said, sounded like he was the same, but I thought he looked skinnier.
Okay. The new changes that they made out there, I mean, for somebody like you, big into plyos, they have that, slow, it seems more efficient. How much did you like it? Did they feel like they
That's
set it up
huge.
for you, just you?
I feel like they did, yeah.
Because you were always kind of wandering around with your implements trying
Yeah.
to find a place to do it. Now you have a set space.
I've had some secret spots around here that I've had to make things work, but that's it's everything right there. They killed it. Jack especially took the lead on that and did a great job, but everything there looks amazing. The plyo wall, the mounds, the turf, the whole area, they did a really good job.
Even something simple, it seems efficient. Like when you have all those screens, the TrackMan's
Yeah.
right there, you don't have an iPad or whatever, you can stop, look.
Right there, yeah, instant feedback. It's like a pitcher's dream, to be honest. Everything's right there, one stop, everything you need from warming up to technology, bullpens, all that kind of stuff.
I mean, it's not necessarily like life-changing, but you guys are here for 6 weeks. I mean, how much more value can that add for your preparation as you guys get ready for the regular season?
Out there, that area, oh, it's huge. It's everything. I mean, even if it's a small advantage on one day over the course of 6 weeks or whatever, especially when it's like you're trying to get fine-tuned for the first game of the season, that you have to be ready to go right away, I think that's a huge thing. And we've talked about in the past how we've been really good over the course of the year, but we want to start off really strong. In the past, that's where we've lost a few games right out of the gate. So I think it's going to help us to be ready right from the get-go.
It has a big league feel, like everything
Oh,
seems big
yeah.
compared to maybe a junior college.
Yeah, definitely. It looks really sharp out there, everything you need. And I think the mentality, we got the new thing there. Dan's leading us. Jack did the renovation. It's kind of like we got a new thing going this year.
Logan, you said Luis really helped you and all the other guys on the staff. now you've had success, what responsibility do you feel for the younger pitchers in this camp, because there's some good arms coming in behind you guys?
Definitely. Yeah, that's a big role. A ton of guys did it for me, Marco, Robbie, Louie, all these guys. So anything I can do, and I've thought about that a little this year. I think shortening the learning curve, that's the biggest thing that I needed, that I wanted, and hopefully I can do that for others. That any advice to, instead of 3 or 4 start rut, shorten that and learn the lessons quicker than actually having to fail into them. I think that's something I want to really help the younger guys with coming up, especially in camp here.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, guys.